Welcome to another Cardano update. So yeah, as expected, we got above the 200% extension right here, and we actually got to the 2.618 extension, and we are still in the third wave right here. Now keep in mind, we will still need a fourth wave and then a fifth wave move up. And honestly, I don't think the structure is complete. I mean, if you look at the 1 hour chart, then maybe you could say that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup, but I don't think this is enough for a fifth wave with the upside. So like I said, at some point we will meet a fourth wave move down, which should not be anything too crazy considering the fact that the second wave move down was very, very deep and it took a long time. So usually when that's the case, when the second wave move down is that deep and it takes that long, usually the fourth wave is very, very fast. So I'm not expecting this to take longer than a day or so. And obviously, once we start this, I will give you a support vision. Right now, I cannot confirm that we have started it. So yeah, unless we go, let's say, below like 40.3 cents or so, then I would be able to confirm that we are in a fourth wave. But until then, I mean, this third wave right here could overextend like crazy. And that's why I even have the 3.618 extension on the chart. Now, if we look at this on the 1 hour, as you can see, we kind of got rejected by the 2.618 here, and now it looks like we are getting rejected again. So maybe we are about to get a correction, and like I said, in this correction, we can drop to about, let's say, at most 38 cents. And once we do that, we will also test the bull market support band. As you can see, we are currently above the bull market support band, and it does not really look like we will go below it now. But of course, we could go below it because if you can remember, here we got above it, we stayed above it for a couple of days, and then all of a sudden we dropped below it, and then we stayed below it. So what we need to do right now is to prove that something like this will not happen again. And in order to prove that, we will need to test the bull market support band again. So again, I would not be surprised to see the price go to like 37.7 cents to test the bull market support band before getting a fifth wave. And then of course, after we get the fifth wave right here, that will only complete the A wave of this much larger C wave to the upside. And then after that, I will give you a support region for the B wave, which is most likely going to take, let's say, about maybe a few days, maybe a week, something like that. This could obviously also take like 1 day if it happens very fast. And I will give you a support zone, like I said. And then after that, we should get a C wave of this AB structure. And that C wave should get to 52.7 cents. Then once we get that C wave, that will complete this C wave to the upside, which is the C wave of this AB structure, and which is the C wave of this third wave to the upside, and that is the third wave of this 1-2 setup that we started all the way back, and that's the third wave of this 1-2 setup that we started in August. Now keep in mind, the pump that we got right now still does not confirm that the main second wave move down is in. To confirm that the second wave move down is in, we still need 5 waves up, and right now we are working on that. As you can see, if we do get to 52.7 cents right here, that will complete the third wave, and then after that we will need a fourth wave move down, which I will give you a support region for after we get a third wave. And then after that we should get a fifth wave, and once we get these 5 waves, then I would be able to confirm that the low is actually in, and that we are heading to new all-time highs in the bull market. Now keep in mind, I also cannot confirm that this B wave is in because we do not have 3 waves up. Now of course it would look very, very weird if we got another B wave low right now. I mean, it would not really make a lot of sense from an Elliott wave point of view. But, you know, you also have to keep in mind that this structure could turn into something entirely different, and yeah, be careful about that. Now, I also want to talk about Bitcoin dominance. So as you can see, Bitcoin dominance is currently dropping, and it's about to test the trend line right here, which I did not have on the chart yesterday. I added this today. And we'll see what happens after we get to the trend line. Maybe we'll actually bounce off of it and we'll get new highs on the Bitcoin dominance chart. Or maybe we'll not. Maybe we'll just go below it and then we'll start dropping because, like I said, and I mentioned this a couple of times in my previous videos, Bitcoin dominance always gets a correction in November, so this is not really surprising what's happening right here. What's surprising is the fact that this cycle, we got this correction way sooner than we did in the previous cycle. If you can remember, in the previous cycle, we actually had a correction at the end of November and not in the first week or actually second week of November. So yeah, this is interesting and we'll see if it continues. Like I said, we still need to get some kind of correction on the monthly chart. And if we look at the monthly candle, yes, currently it's red, but it's not a crazy red candle. If you look at what happened in the previous cycle, I mean, here we dropped from 67% dominance to about 60%, which was a much bigger drop. And if you can remember, this is when Cardano actually went up about 100%. And if we look at how much Cardano went up since November 1st, as you can see, it went up about 32%, and like I said in the previous cycle, it went up about 100%. Let's actually check that out. So yeah, it went up 105%, which means that if we are copying what we did in the previous cycle, which right now seems very likely because we are doing similar things and we are in similar setups, if we go up 105%, that will put us at about 68 cents by the end of the month. And if we do get to 68 cents, I mean, that means that we could theoretically form these 5 waves to the upside by the end of the month. And then, of course, after that, that will only form the first wave right here, which will be the first wave of a main third wave move to the outside. And before getting too excited about this, keep in mind, after a first wave, we will meet a second wave move down. And this could be a deep correction. And, if we go to like 70 cents and this first wave right here, we could drop to like maybe even 49 or 45 cents in the second wave move down, maybe even lower, before getting a third wave of a third wave, which I believe will get us to new all-time highs, perhaps. Now, keep in mind, we do not have to do exactly what we did in the previous cycle, but at the end of the day, you also have to know that we are pretty much copying what we did over here. So we are also in a 1-2 setup, just like we were down here. And if you can remember what I said, before the Cardano had this pump right here, it was also going sideways for about 2 months or so. And what do you know? We have been going sideways for pretty much 3 or 4 months now, and we are starting to pump at the exact same time of the cycle. So yeah, this is not surprising. And also something interesting that I want you to know, when we were down here, Cardano was still down 90% from the previous all-time high. And right now we are down here and Cardano is down 90% from the all-time high. So I think that's also interesting to know. Now, I also want to look at the Bitcoin chart for a second. As you can see, Bitcoin is still going up right now, but it's not getting crazy pumps because Bitcoin dominance is going down, which is a bit weird, to be honest with you. I thought we would get to about $80,000 first before we got a correctionally Bitcoin dominance chart. I guess we did not want to do that. I guess Bitcoin had something else in mind. But keep in mind, I mean, Bitcoin still needs to get to about $80,000 in the next couple of days or maybe weeks if we continue going sideways. And that will complete a third wave of this 1-2 setup right here. And then, of course, we will need a fourth wave move down and then a fifth wave move up. And the fifth wave could put us at about 100K by the end of the year, which has been my main prediction for the past few months now. So I still believe 100K is possible in this cycle. And yeah, I don't know why people are saying that we are about to go to 43K. That makes absolutely no sense. Now, I want to talk about Bitcoin dominance again for a second because you have to remember we went above the 0.618 extension and this right here looks like a rejection. So maybe the top is already in. If it's in already, we would need a break below the bull market support band first. And then we need to sustain that break and get to about 55% dollars. Only then I would be able to at least get some kind of confirmation that a top has formed. Also, isn't it crazy how Bitcoin dominance went up about 1.5% and Cardano already had this pump? I mean, imagine what will happen once Bitcoin dominance drops to about 40% to get to this trend line right here. Imagine what Cardano would do at that time. I mean, of course, it is not guaranteed that we will get to the trend line right here, but I mean, we already have 2 touch points, so maybe we will get to that trend line right there and we will test the 40% level and then we will get the next bull market for the Bitcoin dominance chart. So do I think Cardano can still go to about $5 to $8 in this cycle? Absolutely. Now I also want to talk about ADA Bitcoin for a second. As you can see, ADA Bitcoin had a huge pump, and we are currently testing the bull market's board band, which is very good. But he has to keep in mind, if we want to turn bullish, we kind of had to stay above the bull market's board band, and actually we need to get above it first as well. And yeah, once we do that, then I will be able to confirm that a low has formed. Now, I will only be able to confirm that if we stay above it for long enough. So yeah, that's all I have on this video. Make sure to check out our memberships if you want to support the channel and if you want access to all of our charts. Check out the Patreon, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.